We're going to be using one of my favorite boxers to watch, Alexander Usyk. We're going to stick to that jab, our footwork, and just using head movement as much as we can to make our opponent miss, along with punishing the body. So, once we get them tired, then we can start going crazy, unloading big combos, more power in some of the later rounds. Similar to what Usyk would do. We're going to be reading him and going very light in the first, round, 2, or even 3. It just depends on our opponent and how successful he is with whatever game plan he has for us in this fight. I'm not sure who he's using. I'm more newer to boxing. I know most of the big names, so definitely not as good as Usyk. Yeah, but here I'm just trying to practice the movement a little bit. It's kind of like I was trying to use it, and punches were still hitting me in certain engagements. But look at that nice combo right there. We ended off to the body. So I like to do with the combos. Sometimes I'll start off to the body and then finish at the top. Vice versa, just switching it up. Hopefully it fixes one thing you'll see in this fight is even though I'm circling away from some of his power shots, like they'll still go through the block, still land on me. He was actually, I believe he was able to cut me in the fight through one of them going through my block. So hopefully that gets addressed at some point. But it's still really fun using Usyk, because if you give me a boxer with a great jab, cardio, footwork, man, that's one of my favorite type of boxers to use in this game. I could have fun with using like a Canelo or something because of body shots and how vicious they are. But if I'm going to be at my most competitive or most comfortable, it's definitely going to be somebody with a great jab and footwork. Definitely comfortable. And somebody who can combo fight a little bit. That's why I love using guys like Usyk, Sugar Ray Leonard, Terrence Crawford, some of my favorite boxers to use in the game. But we're just being very patient. Also, I gotta get used to fighting in southpaw in this game. I don't really fight in southpaw too much in this game, but I would say I look pretty good with it. But I still gotta play in southpaw more. Hey, right now we're still sticking to the jab. It's only round 2. We got a lot of rounds to work, so I'm not really rushing anything. Nice counter shots to the body right there. Our counter punching is also very high. I believe it's like 94, 95. So those counter shots are definitely going to hurt, especially to the body. I'm not sure if counter shots take more stamina when, you go down to the body. But if it does, it's just not good for our opponent because we got Usyk, someone that is not going to gas out as long as we stick to a smart game plan. Body jab right there. Try to get him. For the most part, he's not throwing too much. He's not giving us big opportunities. So I'm just trying to stick to the jab. Trying to find a counter here and there. Like right there. Nice counter shot to the body and then a cross up top. Yeah, you see like how I threw a counter shot to the body and then I threw a jab by accident. I meant to throw a cross. So that's what I'm saying. I got definitely get used to that southpaw. Yeah, he's trying to go for his power shots. Yeah, some of these are missing, unfortunately. So hopefully when that's fixed up. I know there's a patch coming this month. Look at that nice counter right there. I was trying to catch and shoot some of the power shots, that I am blocking, because that was something they added into the game. Where, you're able to block and there's a big recovery frame for your opponent. And you're able to counter with your own punch or hook. So definitely try to take advantage of that. Even though it doesn't work, I just like to be in the habit of, reacting that way. So, when it's fixed and when punch accuracy feels great, then I could, it's built-in muscle memory. Even if it whiffs here from time to time. But there's times where it just works really well. Where I'm able to do it. Look at that nice lunge right there. Off the center line. Counter to the body. I love countering to the body. It lowers the stamina. And it's just going to make the fight easier as the fight progresses. So, yeah, if you see me using a lot of lunges here, look at that. Nice body shots right there. Sometimes I like to use a body cross to counter. And then, landing a free body hook right after. so I get 2 shots to the body instead of just a hook. I'm trying to practice the, the lunges and everything. So I'm just getting back into the game, probably like a few weeks ago. So I'm trying to get used to using most of the mechanics. So I'm trying my best to see how they work. And with me, I just like using mechanics a lot to really learn them. And this game's kind of hard, with desync and things like that, because sometimes you might counter perfectly. But look at that, nice counter shots to the body right there. Try to land a nasty combo. We miss at the end, but it's fine. All this body work is definitely going to add up. Look at that. We block that power uppercut, and we go right to that body. We didn't get a counter shot for it, but that recovery frame allowed us to really hit up that body very well, which I like. Let's see, he's starting to throw a lot more. Counter hook. Look at that counter shot to the body. We threw power right there. Yeah, I like to start throwing power like around like either maybe like 3 or 4. I'll start throwing a little bit of power. Because if you start throwing power like in the beginning, the odds of you gassing out before like the last few rounds are a lot higher. So I don't really like taking that chance at all. At least in my playstyle, I like to have a lot of stamina. Especially those last 4 or 3 rounds, because usually that's where an opponent may gas. And look at that, we're winning 30-27. So there's definitely no rush or urgency that I need to throw a whole bunch of power. But, I'm having a really cool fight, and I feel like it's going to go up on YouTube. Of course, I'm going to go for that finish, y'all, so don't worry. But if we do get hurt, we still got to play it safe regardless, because, we don't want to give up a 10-8. Because I'll bring him right back into the fight. So we just want to keep that lead. Man, that distance keeper is nasty. Look at that. Nice 3-piece to the body right there. Now he's starting to throw a lot more power. The urgency, seeing he's down 3 rounds. And it's already round 4. Now he has some urgency to really do something. So, hey, see, I think right there we whiff. Like I said, hopefully this update that's coming out towards the end of the month addresses the punch accuracy, because that's my biggest issue with the game. I know there's desync and ghost punches, but man, just missing punches you're not supposed to is like so frustrating. Especially when you're doing really good in the match and they'll get counters off of you missing punches in the pocket, which you shouldn't really be like missing. I'm even talking about punches like they're circling into it and I'm still missing. So like I said, some people have it worse, some people have it better. I guess it depends on like the region or where you're playing from. Still the same game plan as the earlier rounds. I mean, I'm gonna let up with some more combos, because it is getting into the later rounds, and I know his stamina's probably not looking so good. Look at that nice counter shot. Look at that, we went crazy to the body right there. Pretty much going from high, low, high, low, high, low, and just switching it up. Hey, respect to our opponent though. He's not quitting. He's still trying to stick to the game plan. His early game plan did not work in the very beginning. So now he's kind of forced to have to, throw more power and get desperate because he's pretty much down 5 rounds probably, or at least 4 at the very least. Look at that power body shot counter right into the drop with the left hook up top, or I mean the lead hook up top. Just nasty work right there. See, when the game feels like this, man, it feels beautiful. But that's gonna drop him for the first time in the fight, so pretty much like guaranteed to win like right here, because now that's a 10-8. Plus me being up 4 or 5 rounds already, it's just gonna make it nearly impossible for him to come back. But if I'm having a good fight where hit detection is nice and it's a fun fight, and I know it's going on YouTube, I'm still gonna definitely go for that finish though. Yeah, he's going crazy now because with that 10-8, look at that, we hit him to the body again. Look at that, Nice lunging cross. Drops him right there. So now it's going to be a 10-7. Man, it is fun using Usyk, man. Like when everything is landing and you're able to really utilize your stamina. And you're able to combo fight in those later rounds. And you have really great counter punching as well. Good punch speed. Especially because I think this is the cruiserweight one. So cruiserweight's even like more cracked than the heavyweight version of Usyk. So okay, yeah, look at this nice flat footed. So what I like to do when people are flat footed, I like to like poke them to the body as much as I can with body jabs, body crosses, hooks, and take massive risks because I don't want him to regain enough stamina when he goes back to that stool to be able to run away. I want to make sure I tag up his body pretty much just enough so when he comes out in round 6, he is still going to be gassed. He's not going to be able to run anywhere. Some people do that. They'll get gassed, they'll go to his stool, and then they're able to turn on loose footwork, and they'll start running around. But this guy's still going for it, though. You know, he's trying to be safe, but still go for it. So I can respect that. Let's see. Yeah, it goes through my block right there. And we get countered. Just sticking to that jab, trying to get close to him, so then we can unload some combos. And once we're able to combo up, that's where he's going to be in massive trouble. Look at that. Nice counter shot to the body. Go up top and then go right back to the body. Body again. Oh my God. Another lunging cross knockdown. Beautiful work with Alexander Usyk. You know, in these later rounds, we're definitely going to be comboing up. I'm getting better with the combos because, you know, I'm playing the game a lot more than I'm usually playing it. Even though it's in a bad state, still have some fun with it. Especially when there's matches where hit detection feels relatively good. I can have fun. And I'm not playing somebody that's playing weird at all. You know, he's just trying to box. So hopefully you guys enjoy it.